Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it.
Hello, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, and I'll be spinning some rockin' 50s records every week here on my channel, as well as sharing some cool Coca-Cola collectibles and other neat vintage finds. Stay tuned! Hey guys, this is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. In this video, I am talking records and Record Store Day. Now, I will get to the 5 albums that I'm going to share with you as always, but first I want to talk about Record Store Day because it is happening this Saturday. So I'm going to share my thoughts on Record Store Day and what's happening with the whole COVID thing that's just awful. So hopefully Record Store Day will be a big success, even though we are going through a pandemic at the moment. So if you don't know what Record Store Day is, you really should. It's a great way to support your local record store and meet a lot of neat people within the vinyl community and just share the same love of music and vinyl as other people do. It's neat to connect with them and talk with them as you're waiting in line and get to know people's music interests and what they're hoping to get. It's just so much fun. So Record Store Day happens typically twice a year. You have it at the beginning of the year, sort of, and then towards the end of the year you have Record Store Day Black Friday, which is typically smaller. The bigger Record Store Day happens earlier in the year. And people line up sometimes all night long outside of a record store to get what they want because there's limited release of these albums. They do a limited run, which means one album that's coming out specifically for Record Store Day might only have 500 copies in the whole US, or sometimes as large as 3,000 copies, but even then that's still not a lot compared to usual records that release and have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of copies. So they kind of get dispersed across the US at different record stores, and you really don't know what your record store is going to get, but there's a list that drops online. You can look at the list and then see what you might want, and then go to your record store, line up, and hope you're one of the first people in line and that they have what you want. So a lot of people, like I said, camp out all night and wait and hope they get what they want. Other people have a strategy of maybe going at 3 in the morning and try to get in line. I have gone plenty of times at 3 in the morning and stood in line. Last year I was actually second in line in one of my favorite record stores, Young, Loud, and Snotty here in Florida, and I was able to get the record I wanted. So I was thrilled. It was a Chuck Berry release, never before heard, live in London recording. So I was just thrilled to get that. Typically, I don't find a lot on Record Store Day because a lot of the releases are 70s to modern, and that is not usually what I'm after at all. I love 50s music, so usually you don't get a lot of that, and so I never find things on the list typically. But last year I got lucky, and this year I'm lucky again because there's an album that I actually want, and it is by Elton John. Now I know that's not 50s, but I love my Elton John, and it's a limited release of his self-titled album on purple vinyl. So it will be interesting to get it, if I do get it, and see how it sounds, because some of these represses don't always sound as good, and the sound gets compressed, or the mixing isn't good, or whatever. But it's still fun to go and support your local record store and get a really cool limited vinyl nonetheless. So I'm excited about that, but I'm a little curious how the record stores are going to do it. So instead of having one Record Store Day and the Record Store Day Black Friday, they've decided to do something called Record Store Day Drops. And what that means is they're having 3 separate days in which records drop, and you can go to the store, and then it's sort of up to the local record store as how they're going to get these records safely to their customers. So there's not one sort of uniform thing, and they will not be doing, for the most part, these big long lines and staying overnight kind of a deal. A lot of record stores are really being limited on the amount of customers they're letting in, and they're trying to keep those lines from happening because, of course, with COVID, that's not very safe at the moment. So I've talked to the 2 record stores in town that participate in Record Store Day, And one of them is going to have kind of their normal thing where they're just letting people in a few at a time, and they're going to wear masks and have hand sanitizer and all that. And that's great, but I'm still not going in anywhere really, especially if I don't have to, and I really don't have to. I don't need this album. It's more of a thing that I really want. So I'm going to kind of go with my other record store, Young, Loud, and Snotty, as opposed to yesterday and today's records, because I really like that Young, Loud, and Snotty is allowing time slots. And the way they're doing it is you can get a ticket online. I believe this Tuesday at 12, they're dropping a link, and you can go on there and sort of a mad dash to get the earliest time slot, because obviously the earlier you are, the more chances you have at getting the records you want. And then you go at that time slot, and they're only letting in 5 customers at a time. Now, I did talk to the guy at Young, Loud, and Snotty, and they might do car pickup. So if I came and just drove up, they could bring the record to my car at my allotted time slot, which I think is fantastic, and I'll have to see if that's a for sure, because if that is, I'm definitely going to do it. If not, I will wait and just see what I can get online afterwards, which is not always a guarantee, and sometimes the prices can be higher, but still, I will just have to kind of wait and see what's going on this year. I really hope I can participate, and I hope all of you can as well. I've been looking forward to this, and it's too bad that we're having this darn pandemic, because I really would love to be in line with all of my fellow friends in the VC. So, let me know what you are hoping to get off of the list, and if you don't know what the list is or you want to see the list, you can go to recordstoreday.com. I will link that down below, and you can see everything that's being released, which is quite a lot, over these 3 separate days throughout the year. So this is very exciting, very fun, and I will keep you all updated on my Instagram. So let's go ahead and jump into the records I'm going to share with you all this week. These are really fun. These are all, except for one, original mono pressings. Now, the way I found that out is I was able to look up the matrix number. Now, if you don't know what a matrix number is, it is the number that is inscribed in the dead wax of a vinyl. It's probably something that you've never noticed before. It's very small, and you can look it up online through Discogs or a few other websites. I'm going to try to show this number to you here on camera, but I do not know if that will show up or not. Yes, I think you can see that number there, closest to the paper label in the center. It's right there. It's a pretty long number, but that number is kind of the pressing plant's information on the vinyl. So it tells you a myriad of things, but mainly it will tell you what pressing you have. So if you have an original press, that means that is the very first press that ever came out from the record plant. And then after that, you know, if there's a demand for that record, you might have a second press, third press, so on and so forth. Or you can have a reissue, which a lot of people say repress and reissue is the same thing. I kind of think of reissue more as that they're re-releasing it kind of onto vinyl. So you might have something that came out in the 50s, and now they're taking it and putting it into the 70s because that was so popular, and so now they're re-releasing it. And it's coming out again, or reissuing, kind of all the same thing. But basically, you just want to look for the matrix number, and of course, pay attention to detail on your record, what the label looks like, what the spelling is on the song list, that kind of thing, because all of that gives you little clues as to what press you have, and that can be important as far as sound quality and of course value as well. So just little things to look out when you're shopping for vinyl. So the first album I'm going to share with you is The Diamonds. This is very exciting. This is a mono press. It is so cool. This is on Mercury Records, and side 1 has Till My Baby Comes Home, Shoo Ya Blues, Oh How I Wish, One and Only, Honey, Girl of Mine. Side 2 has Honey Bird, For You Alone, My Dog Likes Your Dog, Zip Zip, Cool Baby, and You Are the Limit. So I absolutely love the song Zip Zip. I posted it probably a gazillion times on my Instagram because I love it. So I have that song as my first top pick off of this album, but I really, really love Girl of Mine. So that's going to be my second pick for this Diamonds album here, which is fabulous. And if you don't know the Diamonds, go listen to them on YouTube because you will love them. The next album is by a guy called Gene Chandler. He's known as the Duke of Earl. This is on VJ label, and this is just a fabulous album. I think everybody's heard the song Duke of Earl. Again, if you haven't, another great one to listen to. And I was so excited to get this mono press. It is just very exciting to me because I love this song. So side one has Duke of Earl, Stand By Me, Festival of Love, Daddy's Home, I Wake Up Crying, Turn On Your Love Light. Side 2 has Night Owl, I'll Follow You, Big Lie, Kissin' in the Kitchen, So Many Ways, and Lonely Island. So my two favorites off of this album, first one obviously being Duke of Earl, and the second one is Kissin' in the Kitchen. Would definitely recommend Gene Chandler, Duke of Earl, fabulous, fabulous. Now the next album is one by the Marcells. This is Blue Moon on Colpix. There are a lot of re-releases or represses, however you want to say it, out on the market. Now the represses that I have seen, this is just going to be a solid color. It does not have any color in the album jacket. So definitely those are little things to look out for if you're wanting to get an original of this album. So this is still very fun, very neat, and I love, love, love the Marcells. So we'll start out with side one with Blue Moon, Goodbye to Love, Sweet Was the Wine, Peace of Mind, A Fallen Tear, Over the Rainbow. Side 2 has I'll Be Lovin' You, Forever Lovin' You, Two People in the World, Most of All, Teeter Totter Love, Sunday Kind of Love, and Crazy Bells. Now a lot of people did Sunday Kind of Love. That song's very famous and a lot of different bands did it, as I said, but I really love that song, so I have to pick that. And then side 2, or side 1, I'm sorry, has Blue Moon, which is my favorite song. And of course, everyone knows Blue Moon by the Marcells. So this is just fabulous. Really, really, really highly recommend this. Now, the next album took a long time for me to track down because there are a lot of reissues of this, and I don't know what they sound like. And I'm kind of a big stickler to try to get original pressings when I can because I really do think they sound better. They haven't been remastered, they haven't been changed. You know, it's just a myriad of things can mess with the sound on vinyl. So I really, really recommend trying to get original pressings when you can. And this one is the Flamingo Serenade on End label. I am so excited to finally own this. It is fabulous. And I really, really love this album. And the Flamingos are just classic. You can't go wrong with them. So this has side A, Love Walked In, Music Maestro Please, Begin the Begin, The Breeze and I, Time Was, Good Night Sweetheart, I Only Have Eyes for You, I'm in the Mood for Love, As Time Goes By, Where or When, Yours but Not for Me. So I love Goodnight Sweetheart on side 1, and of course I Only Have Eyes for You, very classic, very wonderful Flamingo song, is my second pick off of this End album by the Flamingos. So really, really fantastic. Now the last album is a compilation album by the Nutmegs. I believe the Nutmegs had a lot of things released on 45s. I don't know if they ever actually had a full LP, which is why I believe that this is the only thing I've ever been able to find from them. But I really, other than the 45s, but I really love their music. So this was a no-brainer for me to pick up. It wasn't very expensive. So if it didn't sound good, oh well. But it sounds really good, actually. I'm quite impressed, and I'm very happy to have this album. So The side A has Story Untold, Betty Lou, Key to the Kingdom, My Story, Rock Me, A Love So True, Shifting Sands. Side B has The Ship of Love, Gift of a Gabbin' Woman, My Sweet Dreams, Make Me Lose My Mind, Whisperin' Sorrows, and Comin' Home. So I have to pick Story Untold from side A, and then side B, definitely The Gift of a Gabbin' Woman. But these are just fun songs. The Nutmegs have such a great harmonizing capability. They're so great, and you really cannot go wrong with the Nutmegs. So I listen to all of these on YouTube if you can find them, and definitely be on the hunt for vinyl when you're out in the wild by these groups. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this little chat about Record Store Day as well, and let me know what you're hoping to pick up at Record Store Day, or what you've been listening to this week on your own turntable. I always love hearing from you. And on Instagram, if you want to hear any of these songs, I'll be glad to play you a few clips. I can't do that on YouTube for copyright, but Instagram I seem to have no issues. So if you want to hear something, leave me a comment down below, and I'll do my best to do a little Instagram video for you. So that is all for this week, but please stay in, stay safe, and binge YouTube.
That's why I go for that rock and roll